It's 7:45. I woke up at 7, had a cold shower, did yoga, meditated, and then just packed my bag. And now I'm heading to the gym. I'm going to train legs, so it's a mechanical stress leg session today. We're entering the second week of the diet break. So again, my macros are 60 grams of fat, 225 grams of carbs, and 200 grams of protein. After this week, I'll be hopping back into a fat loss phase, and I'll share everything and what I'm doing for that. For my pre-workout, I added 30 grams of highly branched cyclic dextrin to my Bulldoze Rush Revolution pre-workout. I had a few people message me saying that they would prefer voiceover instead of music over my workouts. So we're gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna give a full voiceover for today's workout. Here you just see me doing my mobility routine that I posted on YouTube. It's actually one of my first videos that I put up. It's like my third video, I think. I'll link it down below in the description so you can check it out. It's a great mobility routine to complete. It's really quick. It takes 5 to 10 minutes depending on if you do the whole thing or not. I do the whole thing for my leg days. It's really good to loosen up before you squat or do any major compound lifts. And it's a lot of yoga movements. So, because I do yoga in the mornings, and there's a lot of movements I found that are really beneficial for warming up and improve my mobility. And those are just some glute bridges, 3-second holds to help initiate my glutes and hamstrings before I squat. And here you're seeing my top set. This was 205. Actually, this is my second from top set. It was 205, and I ended up getting 8. How I approach my squats on these mechanical stress emphasized leg sessions is I aim to fail within 5 to 7 sets. So I rest between each set, starting with a very light weight. I start with just the bar, and I'll complete 8 reps, and I will squeeze through the full range of motion as hard as I can to try to activate all my muscles, like my quads, glutes, hamstrings, adductors, hip flexors, throughout the entire range of motion. So that way I'm prepared for the heavier weights. Resting adequate time in between sets too, like a couple minutes. As the sets get harder and the weights get higher, I tend to rest more on the end of 4 or 5 minutes between sets if I'm really preparing to PR. And this was my top set. This was 225. And I was really focused. Like the weights were feeling really heavy on my back. Yeah, these are grinds of this game face, man. Game face. I believe I got 6 reps. Really focused. That was a long grind. And then, see, at this point, I was like, I felt exhausted, and I felt like I doubted myself. I was like, man, like I shouldn't even go for this. But my goal was to fail, so I went for it anyways, and ended up getting it. Right? Kind of surprised myself. At first, I was like, there's no way of getting the next one. Talked myself out of it. Went for it. So I did the same thing with this one. I was like, you know what, let's try. But no, that one I was gassed. It wasn't going up. But you don't know until you don't try is what my point is. So, you know, if you can fail safely, then fail safely. You're going to progress much quicker, and you're going to become stronger from it. So we moved on to deadlift. Same thing. I start with just the bar, and this was pyramiding sets with 6 reps. So I like to do a conventional style. So I have my feet shoulder width, and my quads actually really get in the way and kind of squeeze my junk if I have too close of a stance. So I usually have to bring my feet farther out than just shoulder width. But this was actually my top set. This was 335. I only got up to 335. And you can see the grind. And that was just the 5th rep. So I called it right there because my form was starting to break down on that rep. Actually, you couldn't see my back, but I felt my back was about to round, so I just called it right there. I dropped the weight and I went for an AMRAP set. So I went to 275. I asked a random person in the gym to record for me, a random girl. I felt bad. I had to stop her from a workout. I went up to her all shy. I was like, yo, could you do me a favor and record my set? She was so confused, but she did it. So it was all good. So thank you. I was repping 275 out. I believe I got 12 reps. I took the shoes off for this one. I like to have my feet closer to the ground so I can push directly through my heels instead of having that additional layer of my shoe to press through. It's kind of awkward. And of course, you can see I do a switch grip, but these were grinds. That was a grind. That was a good grind. At the peak of my bulk, I got 315 for 14 reps. and now I got 275 for 12 reps. So that's a big strength hit, but it's gonna start coming back. And then I moved on to leg press, which I didn't record. I did the same thing, pyramided up and did sets of 8, and then I moved on to these stiff leg dumbbell deadlifts. With these, you want to make sure your spine's properly in alignment. You can see how my head is facing downwards, so my whole spine is aligned. If my head was up the entire time, my spine would not be in proper alignment, and I could risk having a back injury or slipping a disc. So when I start, I keep a slight bend in my knees, and then I maintain that bend the entire way down. So it's kind of like you don't want to completely have your legs locked out while you're doing a stiff leg. It's too much stress on your back, and you won't be working your hamstrings or glutes whatsoever. It's a primarily glute and hamstring focused movement. So I hold the dumbbells right in front of me. I got up to 90 pounds in each hand, and my grip strength is really starting to give out, and I actually had to stop that rep right there because of my grip strength. Alright, just got back from the gym. I'm gonna have my post-workout meal. It's a huge one. We got 316 grams of chicken breast, 150 grams of zucchini, and 360 grams of basmati rice. For supplements, we got a multivitamin, fish oil, CoQ10, a digestive enzyme, and vitamin D3. I'm also going to make my drink that I always talk about in every single video. It is 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, half of a whole lemon, 10 drops of stevia to make it taste good, a quarter of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and a full teaspoon of cinnamon. Mix all together, and I have it with all of my bigger meals. I have it 3 times per day. Amazing to boost your immune system, improve your digestion, improve carbohydrate metabolism, even improve your kidney and organ health. So it's a good cleanse overall. Honestly, amazing drink. I love having it, and it tastes good too, so it's a bonus. I always like to have my biggest meals as my post-workout meal, and especially for carbohydrates, you want to have most of your carbohydrates post-workout because that's when your body's the most insulin sensitive, so it's ready to respond to nutrients and absorb nutrients and partition them in muscle cells for glycogen rather than storing them as fat cells. Protein synthesis is also spiked at an all-time high that it's going to be for the day, so that's when you want to have a large bolus of protein. Typically, you want to keep your fats lower in the post-workout settings, that way everything can be assimilated and the nutrients can be absorbed and digested quicker because fats slow digestion. So I really limit my carbohydrates when it's not in the peri-workout setting. Peri-workout means pre, intra, and post-workout. So all my meals that aren't surrounding my workout are just going to be strictly proteins and fats. The odd time I'll have some carbohydrates in them, but especially in a fat loss phase, you're gonna want to prioritize your carbohydrates in the peri-workout setting. All right, it's 3:30, and I'm just gonna go outside and tan and listen to some podcasts. Tan for like an hour maybe. But I gotta show you guys. My mom wanted to get creative and try some more recipes, which is cool, but it sucks for me, you know. Now I walk in the fridge, and we got this bad boy that just stares me in the face all the time. It's cream cheese icing, and it's like a banana loaf with like walnuts, 3-layered cake. Like every day, same thing. I walk in, I'll just want some water, and I'll be like, oh man, I want some of that. And then we still have all these peanut butter and jelly bars that just tempt the hell out of me. But I have good self-discipline, but that still tempts me. That tempts me hard. It's 6 p.m. and I just showered after tanning, and now I'm gonna have my last meal. I only ate like 3 times today, but what we're having here is 300 grams of extra lean ground beef cooked in 10 grams of coconut oil with 80 grams of avocado that I mashed up and I mixed it in, and 100 grams of zucchini chopped up, yellow zucchini. I'm having my drink again, and I'm gonna top it with Frank's. And this is the scale I use. It's Starfrit. I believe it was like $20 or $30. So I'm gonna eat this, and then I have 2 new clients that I have to make protocols for. So I have to make a training program and meal plan for them. I'm actually really stoked to start working with both of them. They're great people. It's 9:30, so I'm all done for the day. I'm gonna get in bed and just read for an hour. I'm reading a book called Got Your Attention. So the final macros will be on the screen, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys.